Hello. For some reason, I'm feeling really anxious today. It's this sort of general anxiety, so if I seem a little uncomfortable, that's what that is. So, I'm going to do a series on book reviews. Some of what I say will just be facts, and some of what I say will be my opinion. The ones that I had already read before in the past, I reread for the purpose of these videos, and the ones I hadn't read, I read. So, do a lot of reading for you guys, just to let you know. We're going to do memoirs. And the first memoir you got to start out with is Brilliant Madness, Living with Manic Depressive Illness by Patty Duke and Gloria Hockman, I think it's pronounced. This book comes in little paperback by Bantam Books. Copyright 1992. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. Let's see. The setup is that it's like a few chapters memoir and then a few chapters basic information about bipolar disorder, manic depression, the treatments, anecdotal accounts, symptoms, things like that. So you get a little bit of the memoir and then information, then memoir, then information. So it's a nice setup that it's not just straight dry reading of bipolar. You get the memoir in there. So that is a positive point, and also this makes it an excellent first book to read as far as memoir goes, or as just getting your first basic information. And the way it was written though, and some of the information, it was confusing at first, like maybe how they had it set up in the chapters, but when I turned the page and kept reading, it fell into place. This book is good for people who have just been diagnosed, family and friends, especially. People who can relate to this book are male and female, but because it's written by a woman, I think women would get more out of it. In particular, women who are married or in a relationship, and women who are parents and have women with bipolar disorder that are parents, because she talks a lot about communicating with children, her kids, about her illness, and also in relationships, in marriages. She has more than one, but the last one she's in is more of a lasting one. Also, people who have, like me too, experience irritability as a major symptom. She definitely had to deal with that. The verbal and physical volatile outbursts, whacking things around, smashing dishes and tables and things like that. So, in public, making scenes. So, and that is one of the main things I identified with when I read the book. She also talks about the stigma of the diagnosis, the label, having a psychiatric condition that requires medication, how to deal with professional life. She's an actress. Do I tell these people? Do I tell the director or producer or whatever or not? In her case, when she was diagnosed, she was first given lithium and it worked for her right away. So she doesn't go through the struggle of multiple medication changes and resistant bipolar disorder. She talks a lot about speaking in public, specifically to eliminate the stigma, and that someone who's famous, out there is going to be honest and forthright and educating about the disorder makes it easier for the rest of us, Then, let's see. The downfall of this book is that it was written it was copyrighted 1992, which means it was probably written before, but that actually makes the information isn't outdated. It's just that a lot's missing because so much has been added to the realm, especially of medication specifically and treatment. Medications are not in here because they came after the book. They need to do a little update or something in it. But the information that is in there is fine. It's just that, everything that happened after medication-wise isn't in there. So there's like some of the newer antipsychotics and things, particularly. In the extended releases. A side note for this book. She wrote a memoir before this called Call Me Anna, and it was about growing up as a child star and the difficulties and the bizarre things that went on with that. And she refers to some of those things in her manic depression memoir. Call Me Anna is an excellent book just to read, just for information. Strange things happening with child stars, what the adults put them through and what they're exposed to, But anyway, I recommend, if you're, really interested, but I do recommend that you read Call Me Anna first because she grows up into a young adult. She talks about some of more very specific behaviors of, like blow-ups she had on the set of movies that she was doing and stuff. Would just take off and leave. And that was the bipolar, but it wasn't diagnosed yet. So I recommend that. And that's all I have to say. On this, I like her. She's down to earth, honest. It's as gritty as somebody who works at Walmart. Their experience is the same. She doesn't polish it up because she's an actress. So, I recommend them all actually, but this I do as a first. And that is it for that one. Next, I have 4 more to go.